We're live. We're live now. Whew. How's everybody doing tonight? So, as mentioned, net zero gain. We are now down 2 weeks, and I'm started the broadcast a few minutes early because I know a bunch of people have to hop on. But we're going to be talking about real life strategies for getting through the holiday season and starting 2017 with the healthiest foot forward. A big part of the Net Zero Gain Challenge that a lot of us have been participating. There's almost 1,200 of us actually participating in this challenge this month. And the goal was simple. We weighed ourselves on December 1st. Then we weighed ourselves on December 31st, or at least we will in a couple weeks. And the goal is to weigh the same. To weigh the same. That's a good goal, right? I mean, it's lower stress because most people during American Thanksgiving till about New Year's Day, it's when we tend to put on about 80% of our annual weight gain.
Why are you starting? You're 2 minutes early. You're supposed to just do...
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to just be da 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 da. Ah, well, there we go. Chrissy just told me, you gotta wait because people aren't expecting you to be on for a few minutes. So for those that are just tuning in, thanks for tuning in. We're going to get going in a couple minutes here. You're tuning in for the Net Zero Game. We're talking healthy lifestyle strategies to get through the remainder of the holiday season. And when I say get through it, I mean with our healthiest foot forward. And it's just some real life practical tips that you can use to really strategize to make it happen. And so if you're just tuning in, don't worry. We're going to get going really quick here. Chrissy's just sharing out the link to a few people because we had a lot of people RSVP via the event page. And we did say to everybody, we're going to be going from the Moose is Loose page, my page here. And yeah, we're talking healthy lifestyle strategies. If you have any questions or you want some tips or tricks, or there's anything that's really bugging you or stresses you out this time of year that relates to health, fitness, lifestyle, please just go ahead and put the comment on there. Christy's moderating the comments. If you don't know who Christy is, she is my life partner, my best friend, my wife, my ongoing bride, who I've been dating ongoing for a long time now. And if you don't know me, I'm Manuel, or you can just call me Coach Moose. All right? So this is great. As you can see, I'm wearing my hat. I'm trying to be all festive. And if you're just tuning in, I see people just tuning in right now. We're talking lifestyle strategies for the holiday season, okay? Because we know it's a stressful time of year. Gonna get going in about 2 more minutes here. No, not even. 1 more minute. So it's like 9 o'clock, Christy. Should we get going or what?
It's 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And I just want to let everybody know I really appreciate you tuning in and listening. I know people have to come and go. Don't worry, I'll be reposting this whole feed on the page and sharing it out on the Whole Life group as well for those that are in the tribe. Don't worry, not going to miss out. Why are you tuning in? Well, we're going to talk real health, wellness, fitness, basic lifestyle strategies to help you with maintaining that mindfulness as it relates to healthier choices. Especially this time of year, it's really tough, right? December's challenging because we're pulled in a lot of directions. We have a lot of commitments to family, a lot of commitments to work, and to be honest, we put everybody else... we prioritize everybody else and all these things pulling at us above ourselves at times. And I want to give you permission to be selfish. All right, you have to be selfish. You have to carve out a little bit of time every day to pay yourself first. Your health is important. For you to be the best version of you got to be healthy. I mean, remember the last time where you were really sick? And I mean like Netflix binge sick? Where you're lying out on the couch and you want nothing to do with the world, and just imagine being in that state all the time, dealing with chronic illness. It's challenging, right? It really is. And so I want to give you some real life strategies that you can take away and start to use. So there's a number of us, about 1,200 people in the Net Zero Gain Challenge, which started on December 1st. Our goal was simple. We weighed ourselves on December 1st, and we are going to weigh ourselves December 31st, and the goal is to weigh the same, to gain 0 weight. And if you can stay the same weight throughout the month of December, man, you've won big time. Because typically, almost 80% of people's annual weight gain is gained between American Thanksgiving and New Year's Day. Can you imagine that? And that roughly translates to about 3 to 7 pounds for most North Americans. So that's significant if you're gaining the bulk of that weight in that 5-6 week period. So we've committed to this, and we've been doing our daily movement with purpose, a little bit of working out. We've also been focused on drinking a bit more water, being active every day, and not onerous, right? Not like going to a gym and carving out 60 to 90 minutes. We're trying to move with purpose every day a little bit, minimally 15 minutes. We practice a little bit of mindfulness, but we've been doing some personal challenges that really feed the faith within each of us. When I say faith, I'm not talking denominational faith. I'm talking about, helping the world, paying back to your communities, to your families, to your social networks, and giving back. So yeah, I'm excited, and I'm going to start addressing some of the questions that people were throwing out. If you have questions as well, please throw them in. I appreciate all your time. Kevin, hey, what's up? I saw Fonger tuned in there as well. Hey, just leave a comment. Say hello. Say where you're tuning in from. We're a tribe here, guys. Nice lid. Thanks, man. Woo! And if you need me to repeat any answers or address any questions, please throw them in there. Hey, Elijah, how you doing, my man? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all your time. So let's get right at it, because I want to be sensitive with the time. We want to keep this to 30 minutes, and away we go. So, Christy, first question. No? Oh, what was the first question I was addressing?
Nutrition is the biggest
I know.
one that everyone wants.
We had a ton of people write about nutrition and wanted nutrition tips. This time of year, it's challenging because we go to a lot of events, we go to a lot of parties, and we just get a lot of food, we get a lot of alcohol, we get a lot of excess calories that normally wouldn't be part of our everyday. So being mindful of that, there's a couple tricks, and I wouldn't call them tricks necessarily, but I would call them good, useful tips. So if you're going to go to a party, all right, you're going to be at a big event, there's going to be lots of great food there. Before you go, make sure you eat, all right? Eat something healthy. Now, and I usually like to eat lots of green leafy vegetables. I try to drink more water. I try to eat good natural fibers and whole foods as much as possible. And if you fill up on a little bit of that, an hour to 2 hours before you go to an event, you're going to find that your appetite, in particular as it relates to your blood sugar, is going to be more even keel. The last thing you want to do is just like going grocery shopping, right? Have you ever gone grocery shopping when you're borderline hangry? So hungry, you're almost angry? Well, imagine going to a Christmas party like that. Well, we all know you go to that buffet table and it's just like, rah, give it to me all. And we tend to overeat. We let ourselves go. And then we kick ourselves the days after, right? So if we can be a bit practical, mindful of those choices. And Christy's got a really cool tip. What she does is she uses little small serving spoons in the dishes, right? So just think about this. If you're at a party and they got a little serving spoon for you to dish out some of your like potato salad or some of these other desserts, I mean, if you're up there and you're dishing these little bit of plates and ongoing, you feel a little weird, right? So if you put the little ones out there, it's a little better. And also smaller plates, right? Also, I have a more philosophy, and please use this one. I think this is one that you'll find very practical. Eat more green leafy vegetables. You go to a party, load up on salad, guys. You can eat lots of that. Lots of good salad. It fills you up, leaves you feeling satiated. You get the crunchiness, but you also get all the good micronutrients as well as all the natural occurring fibers. And it's a great way to also balance out your blood sugar, right? So you're not feeling overly hungry. You're not feeling like you need to eat a lot more. And if you fill your plate more with salad first, and then you put protein, a protein on there, I usually recommend keep it to about the size of a deck of cards. I'm a big beef fan, so I tend to go with lean steak. But 75 grams of lean steak gives you, gram for gram, a lot more protein than you get typically in other sources. But then you can complement that too with like some quinoa. Quinoa, I know, is a protein, right? But it is a grain. And I do like to make sure you know that, the starch aspects. And then you have a little bit of a starch in there. So maybe it's a yam, maybe it's a sweet potato, maybe it's some squash, but you're going with those vegetables. Next, drink more water. All right, so you're going to eat more greens. You're going to drink more water. All right, because again, this is great for your metabolism. It's also most of us, we walk around, especially if you've been out a few nights and maybe your coffee intake, you're drinking a lot of pops, you're out socializing. So when you start drinking a lot of these other beverages, you'll find that it actually tends to dehydrate you naturally. And if you're dehydrated, we sometimes confuse that for hunger. So make sure you're well hydrated. Start to really be mindful of getting enough water every day. And then lastly, you got to move more. Go for a walk. If you feel like you've overeaten, just go for a 20, 30-minute walk. All right, right after that dinner or maybe after that party or whatever. The next morning you wake up, first thing you do, go for a quick 20-minute power walk. And I know, hey, I'm live broadcasting from Ontario. We got a lot of snow here. I know my friends out in Vancouver. It's crazy. We've been away for the last week, and they got hammered by snow too. We're up here in Canada. We got snow. You know, it's like Middle East, United States, and the Eastern Seaboard. They get a lot of snow too. Got to go outside, guys. You got to live with it, right? Or get on a treadmill. And so those are 3 little strategies, all right, that you can take away. More philosophy. Trust me, those little things will help a ton. Steve. Oh, hey, Steve. What's up? Okay, next. So I'm addressing a bit of nutrition, and I also want to say thank you. What? I know. I got to let, for some of those who are just tuning in, we're talking net zero game. We've been sharing strategies. We're 2 weeks in, all right? Full 14 days. We've completed 2 weeks. We've been very mindful of having good lifestyle choices, and we've been encouraging one another and supporting each other. But it's the next 2 and a bit weeks that it gets really challenging. So we're trying to address those and put some strategies in play to help. And I want to put it out there. We got some prizes for people tonight that are tuning in. So this is really, really cool. Thank you, Bulletproof 360. If you don't know who Bulletproof is, well, I've been blogging and writing about it for almost 4 years now, talking about bulletproof coffee, you know, the butter in the coffee. I'm a big ketogenic fan, ketogenic diet, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but that's some of the nutrition questions people have been asking me and how I eat and how I nourish myself. That's what I've been doing. And we got some cool prizes, so I'm going to share that a little bit later. And yes, so Christy will be, she'll let me know to remind you guys, but we got some Brain Octane. Ooh, very cool. I live with this stuff. And we got this cool, look, beaker mugs. Very neat, huh? Bulletproof. It's a beaker with a handle. It's cool. Andy loves prizes. I know you do, Andy. That's awesome. Okay, so there's some other questions that were thrown at us. And one in particular was talking about when you feel pulled by a lot of other people, sometimes there's a lot of people that are into serving other people. And I'm a big believer in this. Listen, my family and I, we serve a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. Sometimes as parents, we feel really pulled to our kids that we have to put them first. And I agree with that, okay? I will do anything for my kids. But if your health starts to suffer because you're prioritizing everybody else before yourself, this is where we run into problems. Because you can't sustain that forever. And eventually you'll see your energy start to dip. Not only will the energy dip, but you'll see that your health, in particular, you might start to put weight on, you might start to feel more stressed out, you'll see your happiness start to lessen, and you'll see your motivation is directly tied to that. All right? So if you're not feeling good about yourself, about your health, about your wellness, and that confidence is starting to wane, well, we start to make choices that may not be in alignment with what we're trying to achieve from a healthy lifestyle. So you notice I haven't even started talking about, lifting weights and training the body and going for long runs. It's this muscle between the ears, and hopefully you can take me serious with this hat on, but it's that muscle between the ears that often needs to be developed the most. And we have to be sure that we're plugging into a community of like-minded individuals that can support us with those goals and ambitions and the lifestyle that we want to lead. So when you have these conversations, and I tell this to a lot of the parents that I work with, is you got to have real good family dialogue and share with your family that you want to be healthy. You want to be fit, right? So you're capable of doing the little things in life that we often take for granted. Because the day that you lose the ability to, say, walk down a flight of stairs unassisted, or even get up and down out of a chair or off your couch, if you're feeling a lot of pain going through those motions, the pain is often directly tied maybe to an injury, but more often than not, it's just deconditioning. So we have to look at these base functional movements and put a plan in place to ensure that we're staying healthy, we're staying fit, and we're staying capable of being able to say yes to those little things in life that we want to be able to say yes to and have the confidence that we can do. So this comes down, and this is sort of a segue into some of the fitness questions that I got. Some people had expressed a concern that not having any equipment options, so they don't have equipment, so that's a big deterrent for why they can't maintain a fitness program throughout the holiday season. Secondly, it's not knowing what to do. So it's really knowledge based. So if you don't know what to do, it's really challenging to put a plan in play because you don't even know where to start. And then I think let's talk about those two first before I get into the third point. You know what, guys? Equipment. If you say that you don't have equipment, and that's the big reason why you can't exercise, that's a big excuse. All right. And if you're using that excuse ongoing, I don't want to say shame on you, but I want to challenge you and say there's always a workaround. You have a great piece of equipment and you have it 24/7. You were born with it, all right? That piece of equipment is your body. And you have to keep it conditioned to be able to handle whatever life throws at you. And the only way to do that, hey, April. Sorry, segue there. As people are coming on here, I want to say hi. And Erica, hey. No worries, Erica. We'll see you again soon. See you in the tribe. Your body is a piece of equipment, but you have to learn how to move it with purpose so you understand where you get the benefit from. Meaning this, all right? A sit-up. Now, doing a sit-up properly or a crunch is great isolation for the abs. Now, if you have back problems or a neck problem, there's a workaround to that. I have a lot of people say, I can't do a sit-up. I've been told it's bad for me. It's going to hurt me. No problem. There's a plank. Very passive movement. Passive exercise. It's excellent. And you can do it up against a wall. You can do it up against a counter. And my point is, you can scale movements to meet you wherever you're at from a fitness standpoint. And fair enough. Maybe you don't know how to do that. That's why I wrote my book, The Whole Life Fitness Manifesto. That's why I give away the program for free. All right? And it's only free, guys, because we have sponsors like Bulletproof 360 that fortunately sponsor this type of challenge. So Christy and I can continue to give it away for free and lead people and coach them in programs that they can do in their home. So wholelifefitnessmanifesto.com, you can join a challenge like the Net Zero Game Challenge. You can join these. And we give you all the movements. All right? They're movements. We'll teach you how to do it. Yes, squirrel. And the best thing is you don't need equipment. Okay, that's all I was trying to get across. I will empower you. I will lead you. I will give you the exercise. I will give you the program so you can do something in front of your TV over the holidays just with your body. Okay? Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate that. Saying the videos are super helpful. Awesome. So yes, they are, and sometimes I'm a little verbose, and if you don't know what that means, it just means I'm a little bit wordy, and I can go off on tangents and go like squirrel. And so what was the other one I was talking about? I gotta ask Christy to get me back on pace here. Hey, what do you guys think of my bird? What do you like the bird? What?
Equipment, lack of time.
Equipment, lack of time. Oh, lack of time. All right. I hear this all the time. Pardon the pun. But literally, if you time you can't control, right? You can't. It's impossible. It's non-tangible. It's ongoing, always going. However, you can manage your commitments, all right? Your commitments. Time blocking. Look at your days. You've got to commit 30 minutes a day for you. You are worth it, all right? You are your biggest asset. And if you don't maintain that asset, it's only going to affect you long-term and everybody around you. So if you can invest 30 minutes, minimally, just 2% of 24 hours every day into your body, mind, and spirit, you're going to be putting your healthiest foot forward. 15 minutes of movement with purpose, all right? AMRAP style or HIIT training, high-intensity interval training. CrossFit's an example of that. You go do spin classes, especially when they're doing sprint intervals. You go to a track if you're doing, sprinting for, say, 50 meters, and then you walk for 400 and then alternate that. It'd be another example of HIIT training, where you're doing an interval, usually shorter burst of high intensity, followed by a rest period that's been determined. If you were to train your body in that kind of as many rounds or as many reps as possible, say in a 15-minute or 10-minute or 12-minute duration, you will do more work than most people will do in an hour at the gym. And you know what I mean? Go to a gym, and I love going to the gym. Gyms are great. But a lot of the time we go there and we don't know what we're doing, or we have a set program, but we take a lot of rest between the exercises, or we get on a cardiovascular machine like a treadmill or an elliptical, and we just start going through the motions, but we don't understand what intensity means to us because it's a subjective term, all right? You have to learn how to bring the intensity. Thank you, April and Kathy, for the comments. You have to learn how to bring the intensity to get you into that zone where you actually create or you elicit a physical response in your body. And if we actually get into the science behind that, which I'm not going to go into right now, hey Gilda, just because I've written lots of articles on this in different publications, but also just go to my blog, manuel.com. Maybe Christy will shoot the link in the comments there. But I've got lots of articles on HIIT training, Tabata training, and they will work great for you. So grab some of those, read up on it, learn what intensity means to you. Because we all work in different ranges, but whatever is right for you is right for you. Don't gauge your progress on what other people are doing. All right? Just focus on you. Cool. All right.
Third one?
Oh, third one? What was the third
I
one?
didn't tell them, but on your notes here, motivation.
Motivation!
That's a big question a lot of people sent in was motivation, how do I get motivated, stay motivated?
Great question. Now, I'm going to repeat what Christy just said. So, yeah, the third one was about, oh, hey, Jillian. It was all about motivation. And how do you keep yourself motivated? Well, I like to equate it to momentum, right? And if you look at things, a body in motion likes to stay in motion, right? It's that law of entropy, or sorry, not entropy, inertia. But the inertia we require to get an object moving, the initially from stop to go, going from couch to 5K, as they say, it's that first step off the couch that's often the most difficult. But that involves a choice to do something. And you take that one step further, is taking that choice or that decision that you've made mentally for yourself, of that want, is now being put into action, right? You're actually doing something about it. Now, as it relates to motivation, that internal drive to want to do something and to consistently do it, well, it does come from within. When I work with people, and I talked about this earlier, but that muscle between the ears is the one that we have to develop first and foremost before we start working on the body, right, on the cardiovascular system. And the reason being is you have to think about why you're doing what you're doing, right? Why do you want to start to exercise? Why do you want to be a healthier parent? Why do you want to be a better partner, right? Let me put it this way. If you were envisioning yourself 5, 10, 15 years from now, what kind of lifestyle do you want to be leading? And literally, I'd love you to paint a picture of that. What does your life look like? What does your day-to-day entail? What kind of activities are you doing? Are you traveling the globe? Are you seeing some of the sights? You know, are you playing with your grandkids? What is it that you're doing that's going to bring you joy and happiness in your life 15, 20, 30 years from now? What kind of health will you need? All right, like really, truly need to realize that lifestyle. Are you making daily decisions now that will influence the likelihood of that occurring? Because if you can't honestly tell yourself yes, then right there, you now know to maintain and to challenge that future, to really start to shape it the way you want it to be. You have to make daily decisions now that are going to influence those tomorrows. To get motivated, just ask yourself, why am I really doing this? And at the end of the day, it has to be about you. You know, one little thing just for parents on that note is I get a lot of parents telling me that they don't have time because they have to drive Timmy to piano practice, they have to take Susie to soccer practice. And in essence, what they're telling me, okay, and you should understand this, but what they're telling me is that because they're committed to getting their kids to all these extracurricular activities and for helping them with their lifestyles, they don't have time to focus on their health. So in essence, their children have become the excuse why they can't maintain a healthy, active lifestyle. I don't think that's the impression. And I know that's not what they're intending to say, but it's what's being implied. So let's turn it around, right? Let's reframe that and rephrase it. And let's think about our kids now being the reason why we want to be healthier. We want to be a little fitter. We want to be a bit more active. One, to be a better role model, but two, because we can be the best parent possible if we have that stuff in check. Make sense? If it makes sense, you can just go like like or whatever. Just make a comment if you agree.
It's one thing to know this, but sometimes often it's a different thing to do it. And
Oh.
that's where the tribe and your buddy system comes in.
Yes, the buddy system. And Kathy, great point. Great point. It's great to know and to want to do that, but sometimes, and I know I'm guilty of this too, all right, where you've been sitting or you've just not had a great day and we just don't want to do it, right? Now, there's two ways of looking at this. You can own that decision to not do it and just say, I'm making a decision today. I'm giving myself a day off. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to feed myself a different way. And when I say feed myself, I'm going to maybe do something positive for me that makes me happy. And that's great. All right. But on the other note, accountable buddies, right? People, friends, or people that you know through online or you're plugged into a community of people that are of like mind and are on a similar journey. These people can hold us accountable, right? They can sometimes pull us when we're not motivated to push ourselves. And that's great. So creating those friendships and those bonds with a community of people, and you give them permission, because you have to tell them there's days where you're feeling down, and give them permission to pick you up, dust you off, push you on that way, right? Or pull you along. And we all have days like that. It's okay. That's life. You can't keep things going perfectly day in, day out. It's not realistic, right? Cool. Hey, Amanda, what's up? All right, I know we got 7 minutes left, and we haven't talked about prizes yet, but prizes are coming. I'll tell you about that in a second. Oh, do we have that keto question? What was that?
People want to know what, well, your answer is your keto, but people want to know what your morning routine is.
Oh, my morning routine. You guys really want to know? Hey, Ellen, what's up? Yeah, keep ego in check. You're absolutely right. And I know that's one that's challenged me a lot too. Thanks for adding that comment. What's my morning routine? Well, it's interesting. My morning routine's changed a lot over the years. But in particular, about 4 or 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called autoimmune neutropenia. Now, it's a chronic condition. I'm going to have it for the rest of my life. But what it means is, well, if my hematologist had it her way, I'd live in a bubble. As if that's ever going to... Can you imagine me doing burpees in a bubble? That would look really, really funny. It's not going to happen. But my body kills off my neutrophils, which is basically white blood cells that are cranked out from your bone marrow produces it, and it's what staves off infection. So especially viral infections. So if you've ever had a fever, your body's usually fighting something. So what happens with me is I don't have a line of defense there. So if I get a cut or I get a fever, like based on some sort of viral infection, I don't have a line of defense. I've had to adjust the way I eat, okay, and the way I move my body to reduce inflammation in my body. So a number of years ago, I would have been the guy that told you eat a lot of carbs, especially if you're training a lot. And there's nothing wrong with that. Carbs are important. You need it. The sugars is what you need to fuel your body. But there's definitely different quality and different types. So I shifted. I started going more paleo and low carb. All right. When I say low carb, I was eating lots of green leafy vegetables. Most of my carbohydrates came from that whole food source. And then I started eating a bit more protein. But where the biggest change happened was I started to eat healthy fats and lots of healthy fats. In particular, coconut oil. Okay, I introduced a lot of coconut, a lot of nuts, and I cut back on legumes. I cut back on white starches and white rices and all that stuff. And when I made those changes, and Christy can attest to this, physically I changed a ton. But
yeah.
Physically I changed a lot. I was gaining lean muscle mass, but also at the same time burning a ton of fat because I was teaching. I was literally teaching my body how to burn fat for fuel.
You're friendlier too.
I was friendlier too because all of a sudden I was actually eating just as many calories as I was before, but the calories changed. So I started eating more fats. And what happens is, and I'm not going to get into the science of this. I've got a couple of blog posts and an ebook coming out, but I've also got some free resources that you guys can get at the end of this Facebook Live that you can sign up. You can get the free download and it'll give you a list of all these resources you can check out. Ketosis is really cool and something worthwhile checking out, as long as you don't have any kidney or liver problems. Okay, if you do, then I'd recommend see a physician, talk to them first about it. But ketosis, you're teaching the body to burn fat for fuel. And when this starts to happen, you actually will find that mentally you become more clear, your energy levels increase, as well as your metabolism is just going on overdrive. All right. And so my morning starts with a bulletproof coffee. It's literally a high quality coffee, and it's usually single source and there's single origin. I highly recommend that. And I'll use a French press. So I'll press my coffee, get it all nice and ready. I'll put in 2 tablespoons of grass-fed organic butter or ghee. I then add in my brain octane, which is a high pure quality of MCT oil, which is a coconut oil. It's derived from coconut. And then I'll mix in a little bit of collagen protein as well. And then I blend it. It makes like a latte. And that's all I have first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. And I won't eat again for anywhere from 5 to 6 hours. But my metabolism's cranking. I've had a lot of good calories, but I'm in fat burning mode. Okay, fat burning. That's what I'm doing. And so it's something I recommend people try, just based on the fact that you get results and you can't argue with the results. So that's part of my daily routine. And then I also make sure to always block on my calendar time for my 5Fs: fitness, faith, family, finances, with an overarching roof of fun. All right. And if you're not familiar with my Whole Life Fitness Manifesto philosophy, we'll provide some links, and you can get some of that. You join our tribe and get on board. It's all free, and it will only benefit you. But what I say is I block out those time so I can pay me first, because it makes me better as a parent, better as a partner, and a lot more enjoyable to be around, to be quite honest. All right. So, yeah, guess mine was breath burning. Breath burning. What? Kevin, you're awesome, dude.
If you don't drink coffee.
Oh, if you don't drink coffee, I've heard of people doing bulletproof tea. Bulletproof tea. Seriously, they'll use black tea, but if you don't want the caffeine, there's some alternative teas. And I don't know the exact teas, but I know I was reading a couple articles on it. So if you go to the bulletproof.com website, we can provide a link for that too. It's actually in the documents, the free resources we're going to give you guys tonight. And actually, Christy, based on the time, do you want to share that link? On this whole idea about ketosis, guys, and the ketogenic diet, or low carb, high fat way of eating, Chrissy's going to post a link. All you guys got to do is you click on that link, you put in your email and your name, you're going to get sent a couple free resources, an infographic, as well as a frequently asked questions of ketosis diet, as well as some free information for you. And based on the people that actually opt in for the freebie, we're going to be randomly selecting 3 people, all right, 3 people to win a bottle of brain octane. Thank you, Bulletproof 360, for providing that, as well as one of these cool little beaker mugs. So we're going to randomly pick 3 people out to use that and get your morning started. But yeah, that's that should be a gift for attending. This is Chardonnay's hat. There's no way she'd let me part with this thing. She would lose her noodle. And you know what? You don't want unhappy kids this time of year, because that is just Grinch mode. Catherine, rock on. Ew! Okay, I know.
Till Friday night, don't forget.
Yes. Oh, sorry. And you have till.
What day is
Yeah,
it?
we'll make the announcement on Saturday morning. We'll be tagging the people that win. And for those that didn't, don't worry. You'll get a bunch of free resources. You're getting tons of cool toys. You know, as far as the knowledge is concerned. So you won already too. So don't worry about that. And oh yeah, we've got the Whole Life Fitness Manifesto. Oh, the money right there. Love the boo. Hey, Mark, what's up? So. It's 9:30. I want to be sensitive to everybody's time.
Recovery injury. That was one other question that people really.
Okay, one more question. And this was about recovery and injuries. All right. So if you're hurt, and I know this firsthand, because a number of years ago I had a bad back injury, my L4, L5. I had a little tear between the 2 vertebrae, which created inflammation, pressed a disc up against one of my nerves, lost feeling in my left leg, and it took me 6 months of rehab to work through that. So I can empathize with anybody that's been dealing with a really bad injury or a chronic ailment that affects them physically. I know mentally it's draining. Emotionally, spiritually, it's draining, and it's tough, and it challenges us. But believe me, there's workarounds. There's always workarounds. So if you have a really bad injury, and we're not talking not just soft tissue, meaning like ligament or tendon or muscle, but it's joint related, you want to see a specialist, all right? And if it is ligament or tendon, like anterior crucia ligament, like a ACL, like outside your knee there, again, you usually want to seek professional advice. Go see a doctor, a physiotherapist. They will help you. They will give you movements that you can use to literally work on rehabbing and strengthening the joint and the muscles around the joint. And a lot of time it's up and down. And I see a lot of people where injuries happen is based on lack of mobility. Their bodies have become deconditioned. And when I say deconditioned, I just mean you haven't used it for a while. If you sit at a desk all day long and you get up in the morning, you eat breakfast at a table in a seated position, you drive to work in a seated position, you work in a seated position, and then you repeat that in the end of the day, you have to realize that the body is becoming conditioned to sit. So you're really good at sitting. But when it comes to moving with purpose, moving under load, or moving our bodies for exercise, it becomes really difficult. So sometimes we confuse this discomfort as being painful, because mentally it's challenging to work our body back into a conditioned mode. And those that have been in a state of being really, really fit at one point to going to being really, really unfit, they know, because now you've got 2 points of reference, right? That's why I always tell people, if you can remember how good it feels to be healthy, and just remember that, that's good motivation, all right, for getting back to it if you ever fall out of it. But if it goes too long, we sometimes forget how good it feels to wake up in the morning, to have that hop, skip, and a jump in our step, and to have the energy to support us to do the things we want in life. So getting back to that. But yes, if you have an injury and it's a bad chronic injury, seek medical attention. Get the help that you need. If it's not, and it's simply just a mental thing and you're deconditioned based on lack of activity, you have to work through that discomfort. But don't confuse discomfort with pain. There's a very good difference. If it's painful, seek help. If it's discomfort and because you feel really uncomfortable because you're pushing yourself to higher intensities than you're normally used to, well, that just comes with it. Trust me, it gets easier. All right.
Can we squeeze in one more?
One more question. Okay. Yes, one more. All right.
Just because I've seen a lot of people...
Hey, Connor, what's up?
Like this one, too. In the sense of frustration of lack of results.
Oh.
I know we opened with nutrition, and I figured that'd be a decent one to close.
Okay, so here's the one. This will be the last question before we close out the evening. And it happens to be about lack of results. I know a lot of us get frustrated, right? We get a little discouraged when we've been working really hard. Thanks, Connor. I know, it's a nice hat. RYU's got to get one of these. RYU logo right there, right?
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Jeez, Connor, stop doing that. Okay. You know, it gets really difficult when we've been working really, really hard to say release some weight. You know, we've been trying to lose 10 pounds, or we've been trying to increase our back squat, or we just want to be able to do push-ups from our toes versus from our knees, right? These little things, or even getting up in the morning, getting out of bed without sore knees. That's a great goal too. And we get discouraged when we don't get results as quickly as we think we should be getting results. Any bit of progress is good progress. And remember where you started. Right? Because if you could look back behind you and see where you began and how far you've come, it doesn't matter how little it was. It's progress. You've moved forward. You've improved. You've changed. All right? And that is good. So if it's not moving as quickly as you'd like it to, why does it have to move that fast? You're progressing. Look at your nutrition. Look at your water intake. Look at how you're training, right? Are you getting to the right intensity levels? Are you getting enough recovery? There's an article I have coming out next week about heart rate variability. All right, so don't worry. You can Google it if you want right now, but it's a really awesome way to make sure that you've recovered, right? And you're rested. Most people under-recover, okay, and they're overly tired. And when you're overly tired and under-recovered and not rested enough, it's hard, right? Because you then mentally tell yourself you got to go work out, you got to go exercise, you got to do all these things, and feels like you're pushing a boulder up a hill. It's just really challenging. So those are days when you understand heart rate variability and stress on the body. You'll have a better indicator on days when it's okay to go to the gym or exercise versus days where maybe today you should just focus on mobility. Bring out the roller. Roll around on the floor for 15 minutes with a couple of small fascia release balls, whatever, okay? So under-recovered, under-rested, or overtraining and under-recovered, that is a common reason why a lot of people get discouraged and start getting poor results, is because it's that whole idea of going one step forward, two steps back. Well, you're actually moving backwards, and that is a whole nother conversation. So please think about that and drink a little bit more water, and that's great. So guys, man, what a night. This is amazing. So again, Christy has pinned the link. All right.
It's under your profile.
Oh, it's under my profile. Okay, so go to the link. You can click on that.
Loving your Facebook Live big time tonight.
Okay, so you can get those free resources, as well as I got a cool opportunity for the January challenge, which is coming up. You should be thinking about this. In a few weeks, we'll have a free Whole Life Fitness Manifesto challenge kicking off again. We're going to have a special opportunity for everybody to get a free copy of my book when you register to be a part of that January challenge. And I'm excited to announce officially tonight, Bulletproof 360 has stepped up again as the sponsor for the January Whole Life Fitness Manifesto Challenge, which will be starting. We'll be sharing some links on that. Thank you, Bulletproof 360, for all the support and the help, and for really helping out the community and the tribe, because it's night and day. You know, when you have a great brand and a great organization like that supporting us guys, it's allowing us to do a lot of cool things to further service the tribe and help you guys continue to get results. Because it's all about optimizing your health and happiness, right? Making good decisions every day. Doesn't matter how small they are. They're still a good decision, and it brings you even more forward in life, and it elevates you, right? It elevates your season, and makes you more awesome. So thank you for your time tonight, guys. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you found some value in some of the tips I shared. If I didn't answer your question, I'm sorry. We just ran out of time. Do message me. I will get back to you with some information, or at least point you in the right direction to find the answers. And guys, have a really happy holiday, all right? Love it. Love on your community, love on your family, love on your friends, and just keep being awesome. So, with that, thank you, Christy, so much for moderating.
You're welcome.
She is the spiciest tinge of ginge, and I love her. And I thank her for helping us that. Thank you, Kathy. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Kevin. And for those that I didn't get a chance to do a shout-out, oh, thank you, Ellen. Happy holidays, everyone. Be well. Bye-bye. Oh, bye, Margaret. Bye.